Thank you for joining our third session of the GRE Bootcamp. Thank you for finding time Friday nights. The session will be recorded, so you will have an access to the session per request. We will share the recordings with you and the presentation with you as well, and all information related to the bootcamp. And I am happy to tell that we have Nelly back with us today, and she will speak about the the final part, not the last but not the least part of the GRE test today with you. And as usually, you have a chance to put your questions on the chat box if you want to, or you can unmute yourself and also ask a question, and we will have some time at the end of the bootcamp, at the end of the session, to also to talk and just to answer all questions. Okay, let's get started. Nelly?
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for that introduction. Let me go ahead and share my screen if I can. Okie dokie. All right, so hi everybody. Thank you so much for coming to our third and final day of the GRE Bootcamp. So, sorry, my computer's a little slow on a Friday morning. Okay, so for those of you who were not here on Monday, my name is Nelly, and I used to work at EducationUSA Ukraine as an outreach coordinator and an advisor, but I'm currently I left EducationUSA Ukraine in August to start my studies at the end of August. So I'm currently studying at Yale and getting my master's degree in global affairs. So I can offer kind of two perspectives, one as a former EducationUSA advisor, but also as someone who took the GRE test and so have gone through the process of studying and preparing and taking the test. So hopefully I can offer a useful perspective to you all today. So on Monday, we talked generally about the test and about the quantitative section. For those of you who were here on Wednesday, you worked with Tanya on the analytical writing section. And so today we're going to focus on the third section, which is the verbal reasoning section. So that's what we're going to focus on today. But at the end of the session, we will have time for questions generally about verbal reasoning, but also just about the GRE test in general. So if there's anything else you want to know, any questions you have, we'll have time for that. So this is something that I didn't do on Monday, and I wish I had. I would love to know sort of who's here and to know why you're here, just to get to know you a little bit. If you feel comfortable, I would prefer that you have your cameras on, just so I'm not speaking into a black void. If there are reasons why you really don't want to have your cameras on, I totally understand. But if you're comfortable, I would love to see who you are. And it would be great just to go one by one to hear a little bit about you, just like a sentence or two, and tell me why you're here today, just because I'm kind of curious. And it will help us work together a little bit better during the session. So I'm going to just call on you guys as I see you, if I can see you. I'm not sure I can actually see your names. Valeria.
Hi.
Hello.
So yeah, my name is, okay. Which one?
Sorry.
You like?
Chobotok, you.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
You, Valeria.
Yeah, Valerie's. Okay, so hi, my name is Valerie. I'm a third year student of Kyiv National University of Trade and Economics. I'm here to understand how to prepare for GRE, as I want to study to have a master's degree in US. I'm also a Global UGRE finalist. So
congrats.
Yeah, me and Dasha we are both here. So we will be hopefully heading to US this August. So yeah, that's a bit about me. I'm also an alumni of America House Youth Leadership Program and of Integrity Leadership Summer School by the Sachi and America House. Right now, I'm studying and volunteering in Erasmus Student Network Kyiv. So yeah, just a bit about me. And I'm a PR manager at the anti-corruption headquarters. So it's in a like CCO in Ukraine. So yeah, that's about me.
Awesome, Valerie. Thank you. Anastasia Pohorecka. If you can hear me, maybe not. Okay, how about Anastasia Vestel?
Yeah, so sorry, I'm without camera because it's not very comfortable for me right now. But I'm a final year student at the Shevchenko National University of Kiev, and I'm planning to get my master's degree in the US. Hopefully, I'm also a CCC student and an opportunity funds program student. So initially, I didn't know that it's obligatory to take the GRE, but I talked to my advisor recently, and she said that it is obligatory, even if like my program it does not require the GRE, I still have to take it. So that's why like I have no choice. But on the other hand, I think it's a great opportunity just to well, first of all, there is no guarantee that the program will not change the requirements. So that's why I understand that it is important for me to take the GRE. And secondly, it's just a good idea and just a good way for self improvement.
Great, awesome. And do you prefer Nastya?
Yes, Nastya is probably better.
Great. Okay. Yeah, I saw that Anastasia and Mabel and Veronica want to type in the chat, so that's totally fine. Go ahead and put a little intro down there. How about George? George, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Good. I don't know what timeline it is, but it's at night. My timeline. I'm in Nairobi, Kenya. I'm a final year student of international studies, security major. I also work within the security sector in anti-terrorism and also fraud detection. I intend to pursue my studies in the US for my master's beginning of next year. So, I mean, the GRE requirement would be of absolute help if you guys take us through it. Thank you.
Awesome, George. Thanks for joining us late on a Friday night in Kenya. So we're happy to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you, Nelly.
Yeah. Camila?
Yeah, sorry, I just come and I understood that we something like introduce myself. Yeah, I should.
Introduce yourself and tell us why you're here today.
Actually, I wanna study education in America. That is why I work for my plan that something like include to test TOEFL and GRE. That is why I'm here. And also I wanna study something like connect with strategy, management, and innovation. And I understood that most famous things happening in America actually, and sometimes in China, and that is why I wanted to bring my horizons, something like that, and see something new, and also have new experience.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Roxalana, are you the one with the cat?
Hi, it's me.
No, you're not the one with the cat. Okay, Roxalana, go ahead.
Oh, no.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I came here from competitive college club, as many people I think here, and I'm gaining now my master's degree, the second year and last year of sociology in Kyiv Mohyla Academy. I also previously studied for like my bachelor is political science. My bachelor not profile, but field of studies, and I want to be a urban. I want to have. Sorry, I'm too tired now.
That's okay.
Friday night, and I have a long day and hard. And I want to be a urban planner or urban studies. I don't know. That manager or something like that in Ukraine, but I need to have really quality of education. Oh, sorry.
No, that's great. Yeah, there's certainly a lot of great urban planning programs in the US.
So I know because I had a lot of experience of reading scientific articles from Chicago sociology school and all about them, and I realized that I need to try, and maybe I I don't know actually, because it's really competitive to be urban planner there, because you need to know much more than social sciences. And this opportunity to like participate here on this during this boot camp, it's a great opportunity to me.
Awesome, wonderful. Thanks, Roxolana. Happy to have you here. Let's see, Pavlo.
Yes, hello, nice to meet you again.
Yes, you too. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're here today.
I'm here today to gain more knowledge about opportunities that are provided by USA, and actually about GRE test. And I wanna find out more information how to prepare for this test, and as for me, I am a student of Kazan National University in Kharkiv in Ukraine, and currently I'm on a 6th year and working on my diploma project, master's diploma project, and I'm chemist, organic chemist. So my hobby and my profession is to synthesize new organic compounds. And so my goal is to obtain much more information about, for example, stereoselective synthesis, and that's why I choose USA universities, where it's provided a wider spectrum of courses about this, about cutting edge directions in science.
Great. Thank you, Pavlo. Valeria Kuchina.
Hello, it's me. I'm the one with the cat.
Oh, great. We always love to have cats on our session.
I used to be only one, Valeria, but it is not today. It's not my time, so I'm sorry. Well, I'm just a newcomer totally. I have just started my research on any kind of program in USA. I mean, magister or even PhD program. I'm just researching, looking, and this is my series psychology. I am more deeper into the neuroscience and kind of affective, social, cognitive neuroscience. So I will just listen to you, because I don't know anything at this moment. That's why I started the research, and I will grab all the information.
Great. Well, you're in the right place, and happy to have you here with us today.
Sorry that I interrupt you guys. Could you say me, please, how long our video meeting will be?
It will go till 8 p.m. your time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And last but not least, Dasha.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just using my phone right now and I can't turn on camera or name myself, but in a few minutes I will join from a laptop.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, so as Valeria said, we are participating in Global UGrad program this year, and I'm also finishing my last course in university and getting a bachelor's this year. And the next year after Global UGrad, I would like to apply for a Fulbright program, and therefore I need GRE.
Great, wonderful. And Katya, I almost missed you, Katya Ivanishenko.
Hi, everyone. I'm actually a member of Competitive College Club and an awardee of the Opportunity Funds program. I'm currently getting my master's degree in education policy, and I'm dreaming of getting master's degree in education policy planning and analysis in the United States. Last year, I worked as an administrative assistant at the Ukrainian State Center for International Education, and currently I work as a department assistant at Karazin University and even hold some lectures on the economics of Ukraine. I'm here to learn some strategies that may help me to succeed at GRE.
Awesome. And Maria Chabanova.
Sorry, are we doing short presentations? Sorry, I joined a bit later.
Yeah, just a brief 1 or 2 sentences about yourself and why you're here.
Yes. Hello, everyone. So I'm already finished with my master's. I work at the International Monetary Fund. I'm an economist, and I want to apply for a PhD to an Ivy League school. I have, I think, a good CV, but I would like also to top the GRE because I'm a very competitive person. And as I mentioned, I've already done GRE 2 times, but which are not bad, but I just want a better result.
Wonderful. Great to have you here with us. I see that we've got Mabel here from Mexico who would like to get a PhD in the US. Mabel, glad to have you with us. And we've got Veronica getting her second bachelor's degree. Awesome. Film director. Oh, and a CCC student. Great. And Anastasia, who wants to get an MA in international relations. Well, that's exactly what I'm doing, Nastia. So if you want to hit me up after the session, happy to talk more about that. Okay. If anyone was at the session on Wednesday, could you just give me 2 or 3 sentences about what you did on Wednesday? Any brave soul?
We discussed 2 kinds of essays and their structure, how to sound professionally, what are requirements of this.
Awesome. Okay, good. So you did a little bit of writing on Wednesday. Great. Okay, so let's move forward. Thank you for that, Dasha. So like I said, today we're talking about verbal reasoning, which is, so this is not a writing section. This is again a section like the math section, the quantitative section, where you answer questions. So this is not writing, but it's about answering questions about written text. So remember, we talked about the structure on Monday of the entire test, but remember that you have 2 verbal reasoning sections. You have 30 minutes for each section, and there are 20 questions in each section. So just keep in mind, if you can do some quick math, that means you have about 1 minute and 30 seconds for each question. So it's not a ton of time to read all the information in the question and answer it. That's what it works out to on average. So just for those of you who weren't here on Monday, just a reminder, for the entire GRE section, there is 1 analytical writing section, which takes an hour total for 2 essays, 2 math sections, it's called quantitative reasoning, but 2 math sections that are 35 minutes each, and then here 2 verbal sections that are 30 minutes each. So it's quite a long test with 5 sections total. So today we're talking about the verbal reasoning section. And this section assesses your ability to understand and analyze written text. So like the quantitative section that we talked about on Monday, this is not testing your knowledge, right? So like in the math section, they're not testing your knowledge of calculus or trigonometry. They're not testing your knowledge of really complicated math. They're testing your ability to analyze something with pretty simple math skills. So like that, here in the verbal section, they're not testing your knowledge of really complicated subjects that you need to read about and then respond to with prior knowledge. This is testing your ability to analyze something that you read and draw conclusions about it, to understand what argument the text is making, okay? So that's important to remember. They're not testing your knowledge. They want to see how you think and how you analyze things. In the verbal section, there are 3 question types, and we'll go over those here in just a minute. There are reading comprehension questions, text completion questions, and sentence equivalence questions. So there's kind of a set proportion of each type of questions in the text or in the section, but just remember that these are the 3 basic types that you'll see when you're taking the GRE, and we'll look at those in detail today. So moving on to the first type of question, which is reading comprehension questions. And this information is taken directly from the ETS website. So ETS is the organization that administers the GRE. They also administer the TOEFL. So this is just to show you that, you know, the structure of the test and the content of the test is not a secret, right? Like ETS tells you exactly what they're looking for in the test. So that's a really great resource to go to, where they explain the test to you, they tell you what they're looking for, how you can prepare. So that's just something to keep in mind, that with a lot of these American or US standardized tests, it's not a secret. They're not trying to like trick you. They tell you exactly what they're looking for on the test. So just keep in mind that they have lots of information there. And this is what they've said directly about the reading comprehension questions. These types of questions test your ability to identify a passage's main idea, recognize specific points made in a passage of text, recognize assumptions underlying an argument in the text, draw conclusions or make conclusions based on a passage, and evaluate a passage's logic and rhetoric. So again, please notice that this is all about your analysis skills. This is not testing your knowledge of certain subject areas. So this is just to kind of show you in the test itself what a reading comprehension question would look like. So there's a paragraph or a couple paragraphs of text on the left side, yeah. Here's one paragraph. Sometimes they'll actually give you much more. It might be 3 or 4 paragraphs. And then there's a question that you have to answer about it on the right side. For the reading comprehension type questions, there may be multiple choice where you only choose one answer. There's one right answer that they want you to choose. There may be multiple choice questions where you have the option to select one or more answers. So maybe there's 2 right answers, there might be 3 right answers. And then there's a type of question where you actually select something in the passage. So it will say, for example, the question will be, which sentence in the passage presents the main argument of the passage? And then actually over here, you click on the sentence that they're looking for. Okay, so those are sort of 3 different formats of questions in this question type, okay? Hopefully that's clear. Between these first 2, where you have to choose one or choose more than one answer, it will be clear. Like they will tell you whether it's a multiple choice where you can select more than one, or whether you just have to pick one. So again, they're not trying to trick you. They'll tell you kind of what they're looking for. So that's the first type, reading comprehension. You have a passage, a paragraph, or a couple paragraphs, and you have to answer questions about it. The second question type is text completion. So again, this is what it looks like in the test. You get a short passage. It might even be shorter than this. It might only be 1 or 2 sentences. And you have to select the best word to go in each of these blanks. So you get 3 options for blank 1. You have to pick the best one. 3 options for blank 2. You have to pick the best one here. 3 options for blank 3. You pick the best one here. Okay. So this is much more about vocabulary. So you have to pick the best option so that it makes sense within the context of the passage. And then there's sentence equivalence. This looks a little different because I took it from a different website. But in these types of questions, you can see the instructions here. Select the 2 answer choices that, when used to complete the sentence in the blank here, they fit the meaning of the sentence as a whole and produce completed sentences that mean similar things. So these are maybe a little bit tricky to sort of get used to and practice. So you always have to select, for sentence equivalence questions, you always have to select 2 answer choices that fit the meaning of the sentence, so they make the sentence make sense, but also when you use each of those words in the blank, both of those sentences mean similar things. So these can be tricky because you may have words down here that sound like synonyms. They sound like they mean the same thing, but when you put them into the sentence, they make the sentence mean slightly different things. So again, we'll talk about this a little bit more later, but this is why you kind of have to practice getting used to the test, practice what they're testing and what they're looking for, because you'll see that they may sometimes kind of try to kind of try to make it a little bit difficult there. But those are the three types of questions. Yeah.
Now we have a question here, but I don't think you're probably the person who can, because is it quite similar to the questions in TOEFL, isn't it? I think Nelly hasn't had TOEFL. She didn't need to. Yes, she's a native speaker. So, I mean, I haven't had TOEFL. I just passed my IELTS. So I guess, yeah, you probably need to go back to if you attended the bootcamp, TOEFL IELTS bootcamp. So yeah, probably
or maybe
this is similar.
Yeah, maybe someone else here today.
Maybe someone else here, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know, is this similar?
So yeah, I was asking it like, I mean, I have taken TOEFL, so it's really quite similar to what they are asking. So like almost the same, so that you have to read everything super attentively and understand like every word and like analyze the text that is written, and just it's like quite similar.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, so then if you've had practice preparing for the TOEFL, yeah, that can definitely help you on the GRE, at least for these types of questions. That's good to know. Thanks for pointing that out, Valerie. So here are just some strategies for the verbal section, and we'll talk about some more tips later on. These may seem quite common sense, but I think it's good to go over them anyway. So read the passage. If you're given a reading comprehension, actually, if you're given any type of question, it's good to read the passage first to get an overall sense of the text before you answer questions about it. So for this type of question, I would not recommend, just reading the question and then trying to go back and like pick out what the answer is. Read the passage first, get an idea for it, and then read the question and try to answer it. So always good to try to, even if you only have time to go through it quickly, try to read the passage first before you start trying to answer questions about it. The second one is really important. Answer only based on the information that is in the passage. Do not rely on outside knowledge. So for example, Pavlo, if they give you, I'm going to call you out here. If they give you a passage about, chemistry, chemical processes, do not say, well, it doesn't say in the text, but I know that from my experience that this chemical process works like this. Don't do that. Always rely only on what's in the passage. Okay, so that's sort of an important thing to highlight. Again, that they're not testing your knowledge of subject areas, they're testing your ability to analyze a text. So be careful about that in any field. If they ask you something about international relations, don't rely on other knowledge that you have about foreign policy in the US or Ukraine or whatever. Good. For the text completion and sentence equivalence, after choosing your answer choices, always reread the whole passage to make sure it makes sense with those words in the text. Probably pretty obvious. And then also for those text completion and sentence equivalence ones, it can be a good idea before you look at the answer choices to try to put in your own words into the blanks that you think would make sense, and then try to find answer choices that match or seem similar to that. So that can be a good strategy, is to try to figure it out on your own first before you look at the choices, and then look at the answer choices and see if there's one that matches sort of what your best guess was. Okay. Any questions about the question types or about the verbal section generally before I give you some time to practice with some questions? Good. All right. Seems like it is clear. So we've got 13 people here. So let's do 3 groups of 3 and 1 group of 4. So I'm going to put you guys into breakout rooms to actually practice with some questions for probably about I'll give you a half an hour to work, I think, based on the number of questions I've given you. I know you don't know each other and it can be a little bit awkward, but I really want you guys to actually try to work together on these questions, read the questions together, try to understand them, just so you can get some practice sort of thinking out loud about these things and working through them together, especially since many of you have probably never seen questions like this before. So I'm going to send you a website where there are questions, and I'm going to send you the questions that I want you to do. I don't want you to do all of them because we don't have time for that. There are only certain ones that I want you to do. And there's some extra information on the website about the question types and strategies. Don't worry about that because that's basically what I've just told you now. Just go right to the questions and start answering the questions. Don't try to read the extra information on the website, okay? And I would recommend that you do all of them first and then go back and check your answers. So try to go through all of them, then go back because there are answers and explanations, and then mark which ones you don't understand so that when we come back as a big group, I can try to help explain the ones that you didn't understand, even after reading the explanation. Does that make sense? Any questions about what your task is?
Everything is clear.
Great. So these are the ones that I want you to do. So that's about 16 questions. I'm going to give you half an hour. So it's a little bit less than 2 minutes per question, which is more than you'll actually have on the GRE. But this is just to give you a sort of a sense of the time. So only do those ones. I'm going to send you the website and then put you into groups. And like I said, please try to do them together. I know it's awkward because you don't know each other, but it's good practice. All right, if I can, here we go. All right, here's the link, and then I'm going to split you into groups. And don't get frustrated if some of these are tough, you don't understand them. Like, practice makes perfect, and this is your first exposure. Okay, I'm going to send you into breakout groups now. All right, thanks for your patience while I figure this out. Okay, so you'll have 30 minutes. I will tell you when you should come back. And good luck, everybody. If you have any questions, you can leave the breakout room, come back into the main room. Katya and I will be here if you have any questions or something doesn't work, okay? All right, good luck, everybody. Only do the questions in the chat, work on them together, try to understand the explanations, and keep track of the ones that you just completely don't understand so we can review them. All right, good luck, everybody. Valeria and George, did you get an invitation to join a breakout room? Okay, let me try to switch you. Give me 1 second. Valeria, there's no box that pops up and says you've been invited to join such and such a breakout room. Okay.
No, I don't see anything, any message, any box. I haven't used this function before.
Well, that's really strange. It doesn't look like I can force you into a breakout room. So I'm sorry about that. Why don't you, work on the questions and see what you can do on your own. Sorry about that.
Yeah, just look through. Thank you.
So you said they have half an hour, like 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Dasha, are you guys done?
I just have noticed that everyone left the room, and I thought they came back to here, but no.
Okay. I saw
Maybe you
Katya
can-
was here, and I saw she was here a second ago, and then she went back. So
Oh, okay. Maybe I should also come back.
yeah, head back to your room if there's a problem.
Yeah, I thought maybe I have just missed anything. Sorry.
Is everything good, Katya? Ivanishchenko?
Oh, it was quite challenging, I have to say, because sometimes it's so difficult to understand what words are suitable because you do not know all of them. So yeah.
Yeah, it can definitely be tough. Yeah. You guys only have about 5 minutes left, so why don't you go back and work with Dasha for a couple more minutes, and then we'll come back and discuss.
Yeah, okay.
All right, almost everyone is back. Let's wait for a couple of, here we go. All right, we lost a couple people along the way. I hope we didn't discourage them with tough questions. How did it go?
Hard.
Good, hard?
Yeah, actually, it's too hard because it demands a lot of attention.
Yeah. Roxalana, what do you think?
Oh, we had an amazing team, and we discussed everything, but we just did half of questions, but it was really, we understand, like for me, I understand that I didn't know many words, and maybe I like hear or saw them like one day, but I realized that I need to know all aspects, like all these specific words, because for example, we had a question about something about car accidents and about city, and I realized that I know many words from this passage because I like urban studies, everything that connected with cities, so it was easier for me than any other. That, for example, from about dinosaurs.
Yeah, yeah.
It just was like, what?
Yeah, ectotherms and things like that, yeah.
But it was good. It was really
Okay.
good.
Good. Other thoughts? Yeah, I hope that, I certainly don't want this to discourage you. I don't want you to walk away from the session like, oh my God, this is so hard, I can't do it. I just want you to see what the questions are like. And the good thing is that you're attending a session in February. I forgot what month it was. So, you know, if you're planning on applying to universities in the fall, in November, December, January deadlines, you have so much time to prepare. So it's really good that you've come to a session at this time of year because you still have 6, 8, 9 months that you can be preparing. So I hope this is not discouraging, but I wanted you to see what some of these questions are actually like so you can sort of prepare yourself for what you need to do. Okay. Are there any questions on the website that you just couldn't figure out that you really want me to go over? As you saw, but hopefully, I don't know how much you got through, but there are really good explanations on that website. They have really good explanations. But is there anything that you just couldn't understand that you want me to review?
Natalie, sorry, can I ask you a question? One more question about where can I get and when can we get these GRE tasks that are in free access? Because as I understand, a lot of these tasks are payable.
Yeah. So I'll talk about resources in a minute. EducationUSA Ukraine can definitely provide you with a lot of free resources. I can say that when I prepared for the GRE, I did not pay for anything. So you can buy stuff if you want, but I prepared for the GRE without paying for anything. So this website that I used, and they also have a mobile app, a cell phone app that I'll talk about in a minute, is Magoosh, and they really helped me a lot. Yeah. But we'll talk about resources in just a minute.
Sorry that I interrupt you. So you recommend to prepare for test on my own, on its own, or yes or no?
Yeah, I mean that's what I did. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But we'll talk more about preparation tips in just a moment. Any questions?
Because it's much harder amid in Ukraine, because we are staying in Ukrainian how to say, society, whereas Russian and Ukrainian, and it's much harder to use English in these conditions.
That's true. Although I mean, yeah, it's definitely challenging. I totally recognize that, you know, this test I had less preparation to do because I'm a native speaker. So I totally recognize that that's an added challenge, but we'll get to preparation strategies in just a minute. But before we do that, are there any questions from the website that you want to go over? from anyone?
Thank you for clarification, Nelly.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, as you can see, there are other questions on that website that I didn't ask you guys to do, so you can go back, look at those. Like I said, the explanations are really, really good. And they have some links where they say, do you want a further explanation? And it'll take you to a different page where there's a video, and those are super helpful. So that's kind of a big tip that I would recommend. Okay. All right, so we got about 20 minutes left. If there are no questions about specific questions on the questions that you just worked on, then let's move forward with our presentation. Let me just share my screen again. Okay, you can see, yes, okay, good. So to talk about some more of those preparation tips. So as you saw, vocabulary is definitely a big part of it. So especially for the text completion and the sentence equivalence questions, the choices that they give you are pretty tough vocab words. And I have to say, like, even as a native English speaker, sometimes when I was studying, I encountered words that I didn't know. So I had to learn some vocabulary too. Like I said, this app, I used Magoosh a lot. They have vocabulary sets on there that you can study. I know people have created sets on Quizlet that you can find. So there are places where you can look up GRE word lists. So you don't have to create your own resources. Go find ones that are out there and study them, but study them in a way that's strategic. You have to figure out what works for you, but just reading through a list of words every night and their definitions is probably not going to help you unless you're just really good at memorizing stuff. Like I said, you'll have to figure out what works for you, but maybe try to write sentences with them or try to use them, in your daily life and, in situations where you have the opportunity to speak English, whatever works for you, but find a way to actively try to use these words and study them. Practice. I know that this is what I said on Monday. I know you'll hear this a lot when people talk about the GRE. It sounds sort of cliche or obvious, but I think it's really, really important. Get used to reading a lot in a short amount of time and being able to understand it. So the first 4 questions, I had you guys start at question 5, but there are questions before that 1 through 4 that were about a bigger text. You probably saw it, 3 or 4 paragraphs. And like I said, you really need to practice sort of being able to read through 3 or 4 paragraphs, in 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and be able to understand the main ideas. So the more that you practice and get used to that, the better you're going to do. The other important thing about practicing is that you'll get used to the question type. So reading comprehension, text completion, sentence equivalent. The more that you are sort of prepared for those types of questions, because that's what's going to be on the test. It's those 3 types. They're not going to try to trick you. But the more that you get used to those, the less time you will have to spend on test day feeling comfortable with those types of questions, if that makes sense. So you should always read the instructions on the test. Don't just breeze through the instructions because you think you know what you need to do. But when you see it, get to a site or get to a question, you say, okay, these are sentence equivalents. Read through the instructions quickly. I know what I need to do. 2 choices that complete the sentence, so you'll know what to expect. So the more that you practice, just the more comfortable you'll feel with the test structure and the question types. Read explanations for everything when you're practicing, whether you get the question right or wrong. So like on that website, even if you got a question right, read the explanation, read the extra explanation if it's available, because again, reading those explanations will help you understand sort of the logic of the test writers. Like for those sentence equivalence questions, for example, like I mentioned, they usually put 2 words that are synonyms. So you might think, oh, they have the same meaning, I should choose those 2, but they don't really fit the sentence. And the test writers do that on purpose to kind of try to make it a little bit trickier. Okay, so when you read explanations for everything on these websites like Magoosh or whatever, that will help you understand the logic of the test writers. Okay. Read material that will help expose you to this kind of vocabulary. So you should really be looking for material that presents an argument supported by evidence. So reading, Facebook posts in English is probably not going to help you very much. You really need to look for good substantive academic material that presents an argument that you can get used to reading. Because you should remember that ultimately with this test and with this section, they are testing your ability to understand graduate level material. So they're testing your ability to be able to read and understand material that you will see in graduate school, getting your master's or your PhD degree. So try to seek out that type of material. These could be academic journals from your field of study. The Economist is also great. The Atlantic, Scientific American. So if you're able to find, sort of PDFs, or even there might be stuff like this in your local Window on America centers, in your Oblast centers. EducationUSA Ukraine has some free virtual materials they can send you as well. So try to seek out opportunities. I know it's tougher in Ukraine, but seek out opportunities to find writing that you can read and get used to it, and work with it strategically. Read an article in The Economist and then summarize the main argument in one sentence and write it down. So again, you have to be sort of active about how you use these materials to study. I see we have a couple questions in the chat, and I'll get to them in just a moment. Other sources for tips, strategies, again, ETS, the people who actually publish the test, they have information on there about the structure of the test, about how to prepare, about how to approach different types of questions. So again, they really try to tell you what to expect. This test is not a huge mystery. They're not trying to keep secrets from you. So go on their website, look at what they've written about the tests to help you prepare. I would say that's the first place to go, just to get used to the structure of the test and what to expect, and then find other materials. Magoosh, like I said, that's mainly what I used. The website is really good. They have full explanations, or their mobile app their cell phone app is really good as well. Kaplan has some materials as well. And I know that when I worked at EducationUSA Ukraine, we had a newsletter, an old newsletter with GRE test prep materials that we would send out when people asked for it. So just reach out to them on Facebook or by email, and they can send you sort of a list with links. And I mentioned this on Monday, but I'll mention it again. ETS, when you register for the test, for the real test, they offer you 2 practice tests, I believe, that you can do. So you can do a full practice test. They will give you sort of an estimate of what your score will be. So I would really recommend that, but I would recommend taking those after you've prepared quite a bit. So you only get 2 free ones. So I would recommend, take the time to really prepare well to get a good idea of how you would actually perform on the test. Take a practice test, see what it's like, see how you do, and then leave time to study some more. Okay. So those are my tips for preparing for the verbal section. Valerie said Harvard Business Review is also a good one. Absolutely, that is a great. That's a great tip. That's a really good place to look for GRE level reading materials. Okay, we've got about 10 minutes left. So with that, I want to see if you guys have any questions about the verbal reasoning or about the test in general. Since this is our last day, as we're wrapping up, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about the test or about the verbal reasoning section.
So I just wanted to thank you for this bootcamp. It was really useful, and it has taken for me the scaring of this test. And also I have another tip. Nelly has also mentioned about the words. And when I was preparing for the TOEFL, there are like 4,000 words for TOEFL, and I have researched, and there are also 4,000 words for GRE. So it's really useful because you just the way I did is like this. So on one side I write in the word, and on the other side I'm writing the explanation in English. And that's how I learned this 4,000 words, and it's really great way, really great resource where you can also learn the words besides the Magoosh and the Quizlet. So, and I'm really thankful for this bootcamp, because it has made me friends with some people, and it's really great that and it's really great opportunity to understand what we have to do and how we can make our dream come true. So I'm really thankful to you, and I will write to EducationUSA for the resources. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I ask you a question about learning new words? Where did you use your new words? Practice. Where did you practice?
Are you asking Valerie, Pablo?
Yes.
Okay, so I was just practicing with the test when I was preparing for the TOEFL, and I think when I will be preparing for GRE, also like just trying to, as Nelly said, you read the passage, like you read the article in The Economist, you're trying to summarize it, find the person that has taken the GRE and who could just proofread all of your text, who you could talk to and like just practice your English with them. So in this way, like it's not that difficult to practice it. So like there are different resources on the internet where you can find the foreigner who also learns English, who has almost the same level with you, and you can just practice. So I think it's just the desire inside should be, and you can always find the resources. You have right now 11 people who also want to pass this test, so we can share the context and prepare together. So it's like just another way of it.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for clarification.
Yeah, I was going to say study groups can be a great idea. I know sometimes it can be really hard to motivate yourself. But if you have, if you get a group together, says we're going to get together, every Thursday night for an hour and do something, if you sort of have an appointment where people are counting on you to show up, that can help you, give you a reason to keep practicing. So I think that's a great idea. There are people here today who want to take the GRE, find each other, connect with each other. Katya can share contact information if people are comfortable with that. I don't know if this is still up and running, Katya, but when I left, there was an EducationUSA at Home Facebook group. So you might be able to go on there, find other people who are wanting to take the GRE. We had also talked about starting a Telegram channel after the session for people who want to take the GRE. So EducationUSA Ukraine is a really good resource, not only for getting information, but also connecting you to other people who want to prepare as well.
Yes,
so there are people out there.
We can organize something like this for you if you want to. So you can just contact me and shoot me an email, and I can just make some kind of an event or online event, so you can hang out together and then just share your contact information and just decide what you want, how you want to practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say we have a wonderful library with the materials. Unfortunately, well, now we're close to the public, but I think it's still if you're in Kyiv, you could stop by, and if you really need to, you can use the materials we have for the GRE prep for free.
And the Window on America centers in each Oblast center. And like I said, lots of stuff online. I didn't pay for any prep materials. So if you have the resources and you want to, that's totally fine, but don't feel like that's necessary. Any other questions about the test, how to prepare?
I just have one tip. It's like tip for myself, but maybe someone could like get some good information and from this. I realized then that I'm living in a social science bubble. So I'm reading articles only in political science, sociology, urban studies, and nothing else. And I need to read something more. So for myself, it's like my personal tip, it's to just search some new, like about innovation in technologies, about like, for example, something like experiments in chemistry or biology or something like this, like something new and interesting, not only like the old articles from 50s. Now it's like it couldn't work for me, for example, but I realized that I need to do reading in another fields of studies.
Yeah, that's great. And yeah, just keep in mind that, again, the GRE is not testing your knowledge of certain fields, but exposing yourself to that different vocabulary that you may not be familiar with is really important.
I also want to say that Telegram chat would be good. Just if anyone wants also.
Yeah. Feel free if people, so here's a QR code for the general Telegram chat for EducationUSA Ukraine. But yeah, if people want to put their handles, is that what it's called? I don't know, I'm old.
Yeah, but we can still like organize, like just create a separate channel for those who want to practice theory. Let me think how it just mattered. Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, here are general resources for EducationUSA Ukraine. Katya, of course, you can say more.
Yeah,
about
absolutely. I've heard at the very beginning, I believe another Valeria said that she was looking for information and she's just like researching options, everything. So Valeria, you just feel free to contact us, sign for like personal consultation for free if you have questions, or just visit our website, educationusa.org.ua. You can find more information about the diploma programs and the like any kind of webinars, seminars we have, and the you can always visit our lecture successful 5 steps to the US universities, where you can learn about how to go through the application process and where do you start, what do you next. So please feel free to visit our Facebook pages, on Instagram, on Telegram. So we are really we'll be happy to see everybody there. And if you want to know at first, all new information and current information on the universities and the any kind of scholarships or programs that have open calls, please just follow us everywhere, and you'll know everything at first hand.
Yeah, and just to add for you, George, you're welcome to reach out to Education USA Ukraine if you want, but there's also Education USA in Kenya. So they can, if you're not aware already, they can also, you can reach out to them and they have their services as well.
Yes, we're a global network. You can find us everywhere, I believe. But you just feel free to reach out to Ukrainian team as well. We're happy to answer your questions and to help you.
All right, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. But I also find this very useful because then when you're taking these postgraduate courses, you're going to meet people from diverse backgrounds. And that's exactly what you want to do in the international relations and all these subjects that you're taking, and even our career path. So this was very useful. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Great. Yeah, and you're welcome to reach out to me. Just get in touch with Education USA Ukraine or Katya, and they can share my contact info with you. I'm happy to help offer any insight that I can.
If you need the recording, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll just put everything together on one Google Drive, because I think the recordings are like too big to be sent by emails. So, and you'll get an access to the recordings and to the information we have. And probably, I think Monday I'll do something like a Telegram channel for everybody and share with everybody, so you can join the Telegram channel, just check, chat, and then exchange information about tips and resources you have, or maybe some kind of findings you have. You can keep chatting as long as you wish on this Telegram channel, and maybe add some information to there. Yes, well, till you pass your GRE year, and then you can just drop it, because I don't think you will need it after that, right? Nelly, I don't know, Nelly, do you use the knowledge you learned for the GRE specifically after the GRE test, or you just forget it,
Only to do Education USA events.
Okay. Yeah.
Some of the vocabulary I learned was helpful.
Right. So yeah, thank you very much for joining the bootcamp in general in today's session. And again, we will be happy to see you all on our social platforms, and sign up for the consultations. Everything is for free, and we're happy to help you. We're here for you and to help you to really reach your dream, and then be accepted to your dream university, and I don't know, just reach your goal, a great career, and be a best in your field of study, or be the best in your whatever you want to learn and to work with in the future. So thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Nelly.
Thank you very much. It was great.
Hope to see you again.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Good luck, everybody, with the test.
Thank you for the session. Goodbye.